Metagross Freak here with another Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel video, this time looking at some of the best sniper rifles in both games. Now obviously both of these weapons are in no particular order. This is not a top 10 or top 15 or top 20 list. This is just the really good sniper rifles available in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now, obviously, these weapons can be used on virtually any character. However, they work best on Zero and Aurelia, respectively, in both games. Of course, all of this is my opinion. If there is a sniper rifle that I did not include that you think is worth including onto the video, please let me know in the comments section below, and maybe I'll do an amendum video where I talk about all the weapons you bring up. So without further ado, let's get started with the Cherry-Amier. The Cherry-Amier is a blue rarity sniper rifle. It is also a Moxie weapon obtained from the Hyperion Slaughter located in the Ore Chasm. So basically late game Borderlands 2. Instead of having a regular Moxie healing effect, which is just any damage dealt, heals you for 2% of the damage, this, for some reason, instead of healing you instantly, produces transfusion, basically transfusion kind of streams in addition to healing you. It's kind of weird. Basically, the transfusion ability is kind of nice for healing enemies close to the target that is sniped. Though, you know, unless if you're not playing multiplayer, the streams might not be able to reach you before they basically just go away. The Cherry-Amier can come in any element, and is actually pretty decent. As a Molly 1 sniper, it should be a lot better. However, unfortunately, because Molly 1 snipers are really good, unfortunately, it does not come with a Molly 1 barrel. As you may or may not know, a weapon's special effect is based on its barrel, and it has, I believe that is a Hyperion barrel. So unfortunately you're not getting the big bonus of having a Molly 1 barrel on a Molly 1 sniper. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm not including it in the video, but Molly 1 snipers, as well as with Molly 1 barrels, are actually some of the strongest sniper rifles in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Well, strongest, they don't have a red text, that is. So unfortunately, the barrel reduces the damage and elemental effect you can get, but it makes up for it with lots of healing. And next up is probably one of the best known sniper rifles in the game. That is the Lyudmilla, or White Death, and the name varies depending on where you are playing Borderlands 2. You can obtain this from any lootable source, but has an increased chance to drop from Gettle in the Dust. Basically, for each shot, it splits into 3 projectiles after a certain distance along a horizontal plane. It's relative to the time of the shot before it splits, and it has a 125% base critical bonus, which is unusual for a Vladov sniper. Usually you see a bonus like that on something like a Jacobs sniper rifle. Also, the barrel gives an improved weapon spread and accuracy impulse. This is kind of maybe a little bit of a downside, though, depending on how you view sniping. The horizontal spread is temporarily reduced to a single point after the shot, but after a certain distance, after it rapidly returns the full width. If you are not a fan of assault rifles, this is basically the assault rifle sniper rifle, to put it simply. The Lyudmilla, or White Death, depending on what your game calls it, is one of the best, if not arguably the best, sniper rifle, save for 2 others, which I'll talk about in a second. It's phenomenal. I would recommend picking one up. It is great on every character, especially Zero. Next up, these 2 are kind of preferences of mine. They are the literal long-distance snipers, and those are the Fremington's Edge and the Hawkeye. Now, both of them have the highest weapon zoom in the game. The Hawkeye has a well, it has a 1 times zoom, though this is actually not true. It's actually closer to 11 point. It's actually 11.6 as opposed to the Farmington's Edge, which has 11.4. The Farmington's Edge is, of course, a blue rarity Hyperion sniper rifle with a dull barrel. Meanwhile, the Hawkeye is a Jacobs sniper rifle with a Jacobs barrel. The Hawkeye has extremely high critical hit damage, high accuracy, and lower overall damage output, though, in addition to this high zoom. Meanwhile, the Farmington's Edge has increased damage, increased accuracy, and increased critical hit damage when it's zoomed. The Farmington's Edge is also a lot easier to get. Unlike the Hawkeye, which has to be obtained from Veracitus the Invincible, Ock, both of which are in the Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC, or from the Hunter's Grotto Seraph Hunter in True Vault Hunter or normal mode. The Farmington's Edge can be farmed from Assassin Wreath starting from the Assassinate the Assassins mission, so early Borderlands 2, as well as can be obtained from the Don't Shoot the Messenger side quest in Borderlands the pre-sequel. If you want something that's a really long-range sniper, I'd recommend the Farmington's Edge, though if you just want something a little bit better than the Farmington's Edge, maybe try out the Hawkeye. Next up is the Morningstar. The Morningstar and the Pimpernel are often considered the two best sniper rifles by comparison. The Lyuda/Lyudmilla/White Death is very good, but the Morningstar and the Pimpernel are considered the two best sniper rifles in Borderlands 2. The Morningstar has really high damage, as well as a bonus critical hit damage after landing a critical hit. However, the only downside is anytime you every time you reload, kill an enemy, swap weapons, or score a critical hit, the Morningstar has a special voice function where it'll nag you with what I would refer to as an annoyed mom voice. It is a Hyperion sniper rifle with a Molly 1 barrel. However, that means that the elemental percent chance and elemental damage are going to be significantly higher, which is pretty nice considering the Morningstar is really good in multiple different elements. Morningstar is a fabulous gun that I would recommend picking up, and it's relatively easy to get because you only have to complete the Hyperion Contract 873 mission from the Highlands. The Pimpernel, however, must be obtained from the Don't Copy That Floppy mission in the Washburn Refinery, requiring the Captain Scarlet DLC. The Pimpernel has an interesting effect that when it hits a surface or hitbox, a second pellet moves straight up and then splits into 5 separate pellets. These do benefit from bore, meaning a 0 with the Pimpernel can basically one-shot an enemy. However, the individual pellets only deal about half damage. The actual damage a Pimpernel does is amazing as long as you're shooting about mid-chest, because the pellets will shoot up and then get the headshots. With 0, because of bore, the pellets all can bore, just drastically increasing the damage even more. Unfortunately, this is a Molly 1 sniper with a dull barrel, so while you do have a decrease in recoil, you unfortunately miss out on some of that elemental damage and elemental chance. Just worth noting there. Next up is a weapon you're probably not going to be using a lot, but is still a good sniper rifle anyway, and that is the Trespasser, obtained from the Animal Rights mission, located in from the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. Unfortunately, it's not an amazing shotgun. Sorry, excuse me, I don't know why I said shotgun. It's not an amazing sniper rifle, but because it is obtained about halfway through the game, through a simple side quest, it is relatively easy to get. The Trespassers is a Jacobs sniper rifle with a Jacobs barrel, which is great. Actually, no, it's not a Jacobs barrel. Excuse me. That is a Hyperion barrel, which does mean it has increased accuracy. So that's a lot better for a sniper rifle, though you are not going to have the big damage bonus of having the Jacobs barrel. Its special effect is that shots bypass shields, basically ignoring them entirely and dealing damage straight to the health, but has reduced damage. Again, mostly because it's not a Jacob's barrel. Uh, this is a pretty cool sniper rifle for when trying to take out Varkids or Hyperion spy enemies. But really, the biggest use you'll have it is for sniping Pyro Pete in order to knock off his helmet. This will enable you to land crits on him even when his shield is up. And to be honest, this is basically the only time I ever use the Trespasser. Next up is the only E-Tech weapon on this list, and that is the Longbow sniper rifle. Unfortunately, most E-Tech sniper rifles aren't really that good because they have a decreased critical hit modifier. However, the Longbow is really cool because instead of shooting the little railgun blasts, it instead fires a Minecraft-style arrow that are always incendiary. This is a fairly short-range sniper rifle, though, as it does not spawn with a scope, and the Minecraft arrow doesn't have great range. Despite being an E-Tech, it only consumes 1 bullet per shot, but it does have, to compensate for the shorter range, a critical hit damage bonus, and as of the 2013 October patch, it has an increased ignition chance. If you're a fan of Minecraft, or if you're a fan of E-Tech weapons in general, it might be worth checking out the Longbow, especially either the longitudinal version or the bonus critical hit damage bonus version. Also, the Longbow is available from the Badass Creeper in the Caustic Caverns. It's kind of a pain to get there, but it's a really easy farm. I was able to get a Longbow in about an hour when I was trying to get one for myself. The Skull Masher can be obtained from Borderlands 2 or Borderlands the pre-sequel. Fortunately, in pre-sequel it is a random drop, but in Borderlands 2 it can be obtained from Son of Mothrak or Rakanoth. It is a pretty nice Jacob's sniper. I keep saying shotgun, I apologize. It is a pretty decent Jacob's sniper. It has an awesome weapon skin, and it shoots 5 projectiles at the cost of 1 round, though each projectile suffers from decreased damage. If you're looking for a sniper rifle with a lot of bang for its buck, go ahead and try out the Skull Masher. It's a lot of fun, especially on Zero and Nisha. Nisha is able to get a ton of damage out of this due to her riflewoman tree. So I would recommend trying it out on her if you don't want to try it on Aurelia. Next up is the Volcano. The Volcano, to be specific, is only really good, instead of on Zero, is only really good on Axton and Krieg. This is because it's a Molly 1 sniper with a Molly 1 barrel, which is phenomenal. Like all Molly 1 weapons, it has a higher elemental chance as well as higher elemental damage. The Volcano, unfortunately, has decreased weapon damage and elemental effect chance, but it has massive splash damage compared to other Molly 1 sniper rifles, which only have a splash damage of 50%, it said has 80%. It can also pass its elemental damage effect to nearby enemies, which is kind of an interesting effect, though if you're not familiar with how the teapot works, or if you just don't have a lot of experience with the Volcano, it can be kind of difficult to understand how it passes elemental effects from one enemy to the other. The reason why the Volcano is so good on Krieg and Axton as opposed to Zero is because Krieg and Axton, Krieg specifically, has bonuses to fire and grenade damage, meanwhile Axton has bonuses to grenade damage. This splash damage, the 80%, is treated as grenades, or treated internally as grenade damage for Krieg and Axton, thus making the Volcano do massive damage when wielded by either of them. And of course it just does more damage with Krieg because he also gets fire bonuses. Borderlands the pre-sequel has a version called the Magma, which is virtually identical to the Volcano. However, it does not receive a bonus from grenade damage. Unfortunately, the splash damage from the magma there is only treated as elemental damage, meaning the magma is a lot weaker than the volcano. Next up is the Plunkett. The Plunkett can be obtained from round 5 of the Digistructed Madness, or a possible reward from the Badass round of the Holodome Onslaught. It can also be dropped by Guardian Pondors and Lost Legion Ascended Power Suits, similarly to the Party Line, which was a weapon I mentioned in my shotgun video. The Plunkett is a Jacobs weapon is a Jacobs sniper rifle with a Jacobs barrel. It has the interesting ability that critical hits remove ammo from your ammo pool instead of the clip. If you're really good at landing critical hits, this can mean that you essentially have a magazine as big as your ammo capacity instead of the puny magazine that most Jacobs weapons have. Being a Jacobs sniper rifle with a Jacobs barrel, you're going to have a lot of weapon damage, really good accuracy, and a critical hit damage bonus. So I would definitely recommend checking out the Plunkett if you enjoy playing as sniper characters, especially Aurelia. Next up is one of my favorite weapons, basically similar to the Lyuda. It is a Vladov sniper rifle with a Vladov barrel, called the Machine. The Machine has an awesome weapon skin, by the way, so if you like it, I would definitely recommend checking it out, just because it's fun to hold, and it just looks so cool. The Machine has a large magazine, as you can see. For example, this level 6 version has 38. That is a massive magazine. It also has an increased fire rate, and the damage of the gun and the fire rate of the gun increase the longer you continue firing. This similar, in a way, to the Mollywan lasers, if you're familiar with how those work in pre-sequel. The Machine does not have a specific loot source. It drops randomly, so I would probably recommend using the grinder to try to grind for one. Just get green rarity sniper rifles and try to grind for a Machine. It is definitely worth getting. Especially using it on Aurelia. It's also really good on Nisha, because Nisha's showdown ability basically reduces the recoil, improving the accuracy of all your rapid fire shots. And finally, we're looking at the Long Nail. This can be obtained from the Invincible Imperial Sentinel, which is the quote-unquote raid boss of the pre-sequel. Unfortunately, all of its parts, excluding the elemental capacitor, are fixed, so you're not going to be able to get a specific accessory, stock, or scope. However, similar to the Trespasser, the Long Nail's shots can bypass shields, inflicting damage directly to the health, though it does have decreased damage and reload speed at the cost of increased fire rate and ammo capacity. The Long Nail also, because it has the trespassing ability, does not benefit from the Moonshine ability that allows you to trespass shields. They basically don't stack at all. However, what it does do is enables you to get a different Moonshine ability. I personally prefer having a Long Nail in fire, because since it avoids the shields, it basically does damage directly to shielded enemies, especially those Guardians. It works really well. Plus, it also has a really cool skin. Also, because it is a Empyrean Sentinel drop, it is relatively easy to farm, since I find it to be, while it's kind of a long boss, it's a relatively easy boss. This is a phenomenal weapon on Aurelia, as well as Athena, due to its larger magazine and high fire rate and high damage. Also, because it's a Vladov sniper rifle with a Vladov barrel, you're going to get those bonuses to your fire rate. Anyway, so there we have it. Those are the really good sniper rifles from Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I've been MetaGrossFreak. Have a great